I'm meteorologist Robert Spetto. Let's talk about Tropical Storm Maan, known as Florita, here in the Philippines, moving towards the west at about 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure right now getting up to about 85 kilometers per hour in its center, and pressure down, or excuse me, winds at 85, pressure down to 992 hectopascals. We are seeing a burst of convection in the last few hours right near that center of its circulation, and already seeing some gusty winds, that heavier rainfall east of the Sierra Madre Mountains, but also seeing reports even out towards Baguio, that inflow coming up the hills there, creating some issues. I do want to show you this, though. This is microwave imagery over the course of the last 24 hours. Now, shear has just been battering this, but the shear is starting to back off just a bit as this slows down. Look at that right in there. Last few frames, you can see it. That's microwave imagery peering through the clouds and showing that low-level center really starting to wrap up. So what does that mean? It means that we are seeing a little bit of intensification. Maybe not quite typhoon status, but a severe tropical storm, very well likely. Another thing you want to notice, though, due to the fact that this is slowing down, that means that that ridge support that is just pushing it towards the west, starting to break down a bit, so we could start to see this turn towards the north. Also, naturally, when storm systems get towards these mountains on this slow type of course, they do start to deflect towards the right due to friction as well. So I do expect that center of circulation to begin to make that northeasterly, northwesterly trend here over the course of the next few hours. But the big issue right now, Philippine Sea effect, warm sea surface temperatures out there, could cause this to strengthen. The other thing is there's a pretty decent wind field on this as well. Winds up to 40 kilometers per hour, stretching all the way down towards southern Luzon. Even had to report an earthquake out there on top of that, and also back towards the north. Here's a look at the model consensus, or excuse me, the forecast consensus from JMA, Pagasa, Taiwan, and JTWC, all expecting this move towards the west, then kind of shifting along the mountains due to that friction, bouncing off towards north, right over Cagayan, and eventually over towards Ilocos Norte in northwestern Luzon, passing just south of the Batanes Islands. Big issue, though, like I said, it's going to be the rainfall here, but then you even have the inflow on the back side of the storm system as well. Just take a look at this as we go ahead through our day here on Tuesday. Iligan already seeing those showers as we get ahead to about 10, 11 o'clock this morning. Scoot this ahead as it passes just over Apari. If we had an eye, Apari, you're probably going to be in the eye of this setup here. And then you have that inflow coming around the backside. So I know we got signal force 2 in a lot of these areas here, but even back over towards places like San Fernando, Candon, down towards Pangasinan, you still have that inflow that's going to be kicking in on the back side of this as we go ahead through your Tuesday evening, and that's going to also cause some heavier rainfall. Also into Baguio, like I mentioned, you're already continuing to see those showers in some of the higher elevations. It's going to move off there towards the west as we go ahead into Wednesday morning, starting to taper off by Wednesday evening. Most of us are going to be looking at improved conditions minus some isolated afternoon showers. But see where the heaviest of the rainfall will be, where this makes landfall, right near the Isabela-Cagayan border, kicking over the mountains. The mountains might save a lot of you here in northern Cagayan out there. Kauai, you're probably going to miss out on the heaviest of the rainfall, while just further towards the south, Iligan, seeing a little bit more. Meanwhile, on the west coast, though, yeah, everybody west of the mountains going to see that inflow kicking up here. So, if you got a surfing trip out here towards Region 1, maybe you're heading out to La Union, it's going to be a messy day as we go ahead through Tuesday and Wednesday. Pretty much continued rainfall in the forecast due to that inflow on the backside of this storm system as well. All right, just take one more look here as this passes overhead on Tuesday. You can see the overall broad scope of this. Not the worst on the northern side of it due to that shear that continued to kick up, but also that inflow wrapping in around behind this, and then it's going to move off towards the north. And I want to show this because eventually it's going to make this arc into the Hong Kong area there in southern China. So Hong Kong's going to have to deal with this as we go ahead into Thursday over towards Friday as well. So plenty of rainfall in the forecast. Number one thing, always remember, be smart before the storm hits, of course. Prepare for this. Be ready for that threat of flooding and landslides. So, signal force 2, a lot of people let their guard down. It's not signal force 3. It's not signal force 4. We've been through this, and yes, I know you have. I know. Been doing this long enough. I know the Philippines, the most experienced with tropical systems anywhere on Earth, and no one can argue that. But those rainfall warnings are really important, and they can sneak up on you really quick. This is for Wednesday, by the way, so by that point, much of the valley will be improved, but still got the heavier rainfall out there on the west coast as that inflow continues to wrap behind this storm system. All right, that's a quick look at what's going on with this. Stay safe out there. If you got any photos or videos, please share them with me on Facebook. You can send me a message or even on Twitter as well, Robert Spetta Weather. Also, if you want to help out this channel, hit that like button, or you can donate on Patreon. Either way is perfectly fine. You know, I don't force anybody to donate. I'll never put this stuff behind a paywall. Key thing, of course, is make sure this gets shared out and everybody is staying safe out there. As always, thanks for watching.